Okay, welcome back. Now we'll try to recreate. My decisions so far. Okay, so probably that was it. I think I think that was all. I contemplated cutting some creatures, and perhaps this will come to a point when I will have to cut Relentless Pursuit if I'm light on creatures. I don't really want to do it because I'm not. I don't have that much card advantage options. There are some. Citizen Champion, if it lives, it could draw me a lot of cards. An Escape Creature is a form of card advantage. And Chimera, if it Shimmerwing Chimera, if it returns some of the enchantments like Blessing, which will help me fight another creature, or Citizen Training that draws a card. Okay, so that's not too bad. They are. And Staggering Insight is a card advantage option. So it's not that bad, but Relentless Pursuit also helps me find my source of blue mana, so it's a nice card in that regard too. I'm not sure if I want to play even a one Unknown Shores. If I have a temple and I play maybe 2 islands and the Relentless Pursuit, that could be enough. So 7 is not ideal. I want to have 8 white sources if I'm playing Daxos. Maybe 8 white sources. I think I can get away with 7 green sources. I have only Renata is harder to cast. That's a stretch, I think. It's not this. This mana base is not really working out. Maybe this splash is too ambitious, but I think it's probably worth it. I got Temple, so that's a good start. I could play 17 lands like this. And now the mana base doesn't look bad, but I have a quite cheap deck. And I got 4 cards to cut, and it's a problem because I don't know what I want to cut. So maybe 7 white sources. Taxes will punish me from time to time, but the Birth of Meletis digs for plains, and Relentless Pursuit digs for plants, so I think this Daxos will not come on turn 2 that often, but besides that I can cut this Warfare because I won't be aggressive if I have to cut more creatures, and it's cute that it attacks for 2 for some time, but that's not what my deck is about, so it doesn't make much sense. And I got some 2 mana creatures in 3 Skolas and Daxos. I got the removal here, and I got the Birth of Meletis that maybe not in the second turn, but in third turn can create a blocker. So, and it's a 2-drop, so I think I don't need Leonin, that is better in aggressive decks also. And 13 creatures is quite light, so this Relentless Pursuit is becoming I think it's becoming the weakest link, but the mana base is also ambitious, so that's one reason to keep this Pursuit anyway. That's another tough choice, but I don't see myself cutting anything else than this Pursuit. So maybe I will play with greedy mana base and this could be my deck. Now I've got 12 white cards and 10 green cards. And the white is more demanding, so I can consider such mana base, and 6 lands are not ideal too. And 2 blue cards with 3 blue mana sources, one that is tapped, comes into play tapped, and no way to search for them. That doesn't look good also. So this deck seems nice. but the mana base is a big problem for it. Maybe I could consider cutting blue and I don't know, Relentless Pursuit won't be better than, because I will cut non-creature spell for a non-creature spell and one creature for perhaps Leonin or Chaos Warfare, and still have 13 creatures. Still Relentless Pursuit is quite risky, and now it doesn't make much sense when I don't play blue, so I could cut blue and return 2 creatures, or I don't know, really. It doesn't really make sense to cut blue for these cards. None of them is too good in my deck, so I think I'm just gonna live with this bad mana base and hope for the best anyway, so maybe that's about it. I don't know if I can cut another creature to return Relentless Pursuit, which would help my mana base, and I could play 7 forests, 6 plains and Temple 2 islands, because this is a green card that looks for another lands. I don't really want to play Unknown Shores when I play Daxos, and paying 1 mana more to fix colors is quite bad, so, and it gets even worse when you have cards like Daxos here and wish it was just a plains. So Relentless Pursuit would be quite nice in my deck, but I really don't want to cut creatures for it, because 13 is probably already too small of a number to play Relentless Pursuit, and 12 is very bad. So I think the only card I could consider cutting for Relentless Pursuit now is an Omen of the Sun. And it's probably not worth it, because Omen should be nice in my deck, and okay, I think I can live with this mana base, just play this deck as it is now. So wish me luck, because I will probably need it. And if I get the right lands on time, this deck can be powerful, even if it has some filler creatures like this familiar, and this is another creature that isn't too good. But okay, it's not that bad. Two creatures that aren't too good, but aren't embarrassing either. Can be fillers in such a deck. Is that's good enough. So maybe I could play one more land and cut familiar. Maybe that's another option to consider, because I have cards like Birth of Meletis that creates a creature, and Omen of the Sun, so they are not creatures for Relentless Pursuit, so they are not a reason to bring it back, but they are creatures which can take status and training if I want to just cycle it, put it on any of my creatures. They're not good for Warbriar Blessing because fighting with the 1/1 token that becomes 1/3 isn't good, and fighting with 0/4 wall is even worse. But they are creatures that help me survive and can be a target for stats and training, even if they're not a good target. They are still an option, but it's not too bad. They're not a good option for Insight either, and Familiar is a nice option for staggering Insight, so no, maybe I will keep it this way, and I want 8 sources of white mana, so I will live with 6 forests and just hope for the best. Okay, wish me luck, I'll start my first game soon.